Hi, this week I watched F9 The Fast Saga, the ninth in the increasingly complicatedly titled Fast and Furious series. In this, where we lost two of the main members of the team off to their own spin-off, The Adventures of Hobbs and Shaw, and so we still have Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto heading his team of car experts and superpowered secret agents enlisted by the CIA to go after a super weapon that has apparently been stolen by Dom's previously no mentioned younger brother, whom he was estranged from after their father died in a car racing accident. And so there's all sorts of action sequences and adventures as they travel all over the world, have a car chase around Edinburgh, and try to track down this ultimate weapon before it can be used. It's pretty bad. um, the thing that I dislike about it, and in comparison to Hobbs and Shaw, the spin-off which I quite enjoy, is this takes itself deadly seriously. It is completely absurd, completely ridiculous, but unlike Hobbs and Shaw, there's no sense of awareness. It's not like Moonraker, where there's an awareness that this is absurd and ridiculous, and you can just go along with it. Here we're expected to take it deadly seriously, like cars driving across the remains of bridges as they're falling into an abyss, or most ridiculously, the climax with Vin Diesel leaping out of, trapped inside a huge personnel carrier as it goes rolling down a mountain, and he's rattling around inside like a coin in a biscuit tin. And then he climbs up to the door and leaps out at the last second before it explodes into a gigantic ball of flame that will take out half of Luxembourg. And there isn't a mark on him. There isn't even a bit of soot on his face to indicate that he's near an explosion. He is completely unmarked, as though he's just come out of a pod. These films are highly variable in how seriously they take themselves, and the more serious they take themselves, the more absurd they are. Because by this point, the characters are basically superheroes. They are completely impervious to any injury. We have two of them going into space towards the end of the movie in a tricked out rocket car, and smashing into a satellite to prevent the bad guys' plan. Also, uh, there's no real villains, because the bad guys just decide, oh, actually, I have to be forgiven, and then they come to the side of good, and John Cena winds up changing sides and fighting for the good guys, and the ultimate bad guy is still Charlize Theron's Cypher from the previous film, a completely bland, uninteresting character with no background or anything at all apart from, they're evil. There is a car chase around Edinburgh, which is notionally quite well achieved, but it falls in several elements of very obvious logic. You have the one person who can drive this truck to chase after the bad guy is the one member of the team who can't drive. So, well, that's a bit of fun. She has to drive a truck, and she figures it out almost immediately. And there's a fight going, there's a brawl going on in the back of the truck, and there's a whole wall full of magnets, and she keeps turning the magnets on and off as people are being bounced and bumped around all over the cobbles and having guns snatched out of their hands and all sorts of things like that. Cars being pulled through the truck, being attracted by the magnets, because cars are obviously super magnetic all the time, and the sports cars that they drive never have carbon fiber bodies. So much of it is never thought through. It's just fast things and shiny noises, and it is lowest common denominator crap. But it takes itself so desperately seriously, as though people should feel like this is a real movie and not a load of nonsense. It's hard to enjoy, it's hard to like, because it doesn't have any sense of its own awareness. There's no sense of knowing what it is. You can do silly, over the top action stories. That's fine. Those are fun. But you have to have some awareness of what you're doing. You can have a dark, serious action movie, but it has to be more believable, more realistic. Like the Bourne films, which go out of their way to be darker and grittier and believable and based in a believable environment. These are so ridiculously over the top, and yet they have the seriousness of a Bourne film, apart from the terrible comic relief. And the result is something that is boring and silly and hard to enjoy because it feels like it's aimed at someone who's stupid. And no one wants to be told that they're stupid and maybe they should be watching other movies.